one of my favorite sayings is, and I try and tell, the crypto space is full of a lot of young people, and I love their energy, and I love tapping into it, and I love learning from them. But I always tell them this: there is nothing new under the sun. All of these games, these shell games, these 3-card Montes that these guys are playing have been played for eons and eternities when it comes to money and financial systems.
Mm-hmm.
And they've done the same things over and over again until they collapse. Now, the power that they have today, however, is a lot more concentrated than it ever has been. Even when the Roman Empire controlled most of the world, they didn't have as big a grip as today's financial system has on the global economic system. What mistakes in the past that you've seen that human beings have done, or what resets have you seen, or what should this one look like? I'm looking for solutions.
People are, again, they're willingly surrendering their liberty. They're surrendering their freedom, because most people, unfortunately, they don't want to compete. They want to be taken care of from the cradle to the grave. This is it's a mentality. It's a very strange thing. Everyone gets a trophy. It's very odd. But it's a slow burn. And this process here has really taken such a grip on people. People, even if they knew what to do, would they even take action? I don't know. I think for the most part, in my communication with people outside of YouTube and people that are like-minded like you and I, you can't get through to them. They don't get it. They don't see it for the most part. And that's the problem, because it's the indoctrination that starts from the get-go, from the moment they're born into this system. I mean, and just as an example here, a child that's born today in the United States, the moment they take their first breath, they're a debtor. They're a debtor to the system. It's unbelievable. The moment they're born, they didn't say a word, but they own a part of the national debt. Could you freaking believe that? What kind of twisted system is that? But the real solution here is we need to get out of this debt-based system. When I talk to people every day who have no idea at all, friends of mine, when I try to explain to them that we have a debt-based system, they go, what do you mean we have a debt-based system? I mean, the system...
That's what we export. That's what we sell to the world is debt.
That's the United States' greatest export to the world is inflation. That's the truth, which is obviously a form of debt too, right? Yeah. But anyway, with regard to that, when I try to explain to people that the cash that they have in their pockets isn't theirs, it's owned by an issuing central bank. They issue debt to the world. We owe it back to whatever central bank is issuing it, plus interest that they created in thin air. Who came up with that kind of a situation? And that kind of a system, it demands that must relentlessly and constantly be added into the system. It can't stop. So this is why we don't have a budget, and why we have to find reasons and create reasons magically out of thin air to keep funding, because that's the way it works here. You heard about all these banks that were not allowed. Could you imagine? You probably know about this. Just came out today. So they had this meeting today, the Federal Reserve, behind closed doors. Now they're going to be issuing loans out to banks that are apparently insolvent. Okay.
I saw this.
Yeah, but we can't know who the banks are. We can't know. In other words, there's going to be loans, but when as of right now, from what I understand, the names of the institutions, so people don't go panicking, is being withheld. Does that sound like a free society to you? Does it sound like a society where the people make the decisions? Or is it some other kind of twisted fascist, I don't know what you want to call it, yet to be defined? I mean, that really got me angry. When I heard that, okay, the Federal Reserve is going to be issuing loans to a whole bunch of institutions, regional banks, that are not doing so well, all of a sudden, just a miracle, the regulators missed this whole thing, but they're going to be issuing loans. We can't know who the banks are. Imagine my shock. So sick. But this is what they do. This is how they got everybody. It's out of control.